most importantly, rare earth materials. Now, rare earth materials are so significant for China because they use it often like a bargaining chip, something we've already seen when they were slapped with tariffs by the United States. The first thing they did was to come up with retaliatory tariffs and also stop the export of rare earth minerals. So if India is managing to get that export coming from China, that is in fact a win-win of sorts for us. India, of course, has also offered certain, say, uplifting of various checks which were sort of curtailing Chinese FDI. That happened soon after the Galwan clashes in the year 2020. Okay. And so India is looking towards attracting greater Chinese FDI. This year itself, in July, the Niti Aayog proposed 24% of Chinese FDI be welcomed in India, and that's a very key strategic figure so that India is able to control the greater sort of portion of management when it comes to startups or even MSMEs, which will be welcoming that Chinese FDI. Most importantly, we are looking towards Chinese FDI coming to sectors like telecom, which is dwindling, as we all know, in the Indian economy, also looking towards sort of propping up enterprises. So Chinese FDI is going to be playing a very significant role, and perhaps you can expect
the Chief Economic Advisor made this mention as well. This was before the budget, that India needs to amp up Chinese FDI coming into the country. At that time, he was not viewed very favorably. But let me go back to Rahul Shivshankar, who's joining us from Tianjin live, as this meeting, I think, is now coming to its concluding part. Rahul, just on the economic side, and I think Akanksha made that point about rare earths, the Chinese have used rare earths very effectively in their ongoing trade negotiations against the United States. The Prime Minister spoke about the importance of rare earths just earlier this week when he was inaugurating that Suzuki factory in Ahmedabad. Have rare earths become the new oil?
Oh yes, absolutely, Zaka.
हमारे स्पेशल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स के बीच बॉर्डर मैनेजमेंट के संबंध में सहमति बनी। कैलाश मानसरोवर यात्रा फिर से शुरू की। दोनों देशों के बीच डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट भी फिर से शुरू की जा रही है। हमारे सहयोग से दोनों देशों के 2.8 बिलियन लोगों के हित जुड़े हुए। इससे पूरी मानवता के कल्याण का मार्ग भी प्रशस्त होगा। परस्पर विश्वास, सम्मान और संवेदनशीलता के आधार पर हम अपने संबंधों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। एजेंसी चीन द्वारा SCO की सफल अध्यक्षता के लिए मैं आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। एक बार फिर चीन यात्रा के निमंत्रण के लिए और आज की हमारी बैठक के लिए आपका हार्दिक धन्यवाद।
Was the opening comments from the Prime Minister. He's mentioned 3-4 things, which is part of the road to normalization between Delhi and Beijing. The border management mechanism that was agreed to in Kazan, the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra being resumed, direct flights will soon be resumed, direct between Beijing and Delhi, and possibly Mumbai and Shanghai as well. The Prime Minister talked about the combined 2.8 billion people of India and China, and how the relationship has to be founded on mutual trust and mutual respect. He concluded by saying he congratulates the Chinese presidentship of the SCO, the rotating presidentship of SCO. China is the host currently this year, and he's ended by thanking President Xi for the invitation to visit China as part of the SCO Summit. So, Rahul, these were the opening comments that the Prime Minister made. Obviously, this was in front of the cameras, then the cameras go away, and for about 30 minutes, they have the tete-a-tete, which I believe will be coming to a conclusion now.
Yes, we'll also be getting an update on what President Xi said in response to the Prime Minister's introductory remarks. So that will be very, very interesting to get the Chinese perspective on where they're coming from. But the Prime Minister putting those issues there, right there, threadbare, center front and suggesting that, look, we've got to normalize our relations, and the only way we can do it is by rebuilding trust. And that really, as I told you, was the one commodity that is in deficit. You can promise all the amount of trade, you can bring in all the number of flights, you can bring in as much FDI as you want, or rare earths, but if you don't have trust between these two principal agents that are going to determine the shape of the world in the next 50 years, well, there's going to be a problem, isn't it, Zaka? And that, I think, is the Prime Minister is very right to focus on this. And the Indian point of view has always been that the Indian side has always lived by the old principles of peace and mutual respect between these two countries, founded way back in the 1950s. But
中阿两国虽然相距遥远，但是是志同道合、休戚。中方始终把中马关系置于周边外交的重要方向。2024年1月，我们在北京举行了会有成果的会谈。一致同意把中马关系提升为全面战略伙伴关系、合作伙伴关系，打造中马命运共同体。1年多来，双方认真落实我们达成的重要共识，中马共建“一带一路”合作取得积极进展，两国全面战略合作伙伴关系不断深化，这两国内我也同意到为中马关系